Warning, the following podcast show that you're about to listen to will include explicit language and content in which you, the members of the audience, may find offensive. Audience discretion is advised.
Welcome to another episode of the Kim Hoang Podcast Experience.
Yeah, boy.
Where anything and everything is a subject matter on the show, and no subject matter is ever taboo.
Damn, that's what's up with you.
And now, your host with the most, Mr. Kim Hoang. Bro, am I getting paid for this?
Yo, what's going on, everybody? How are you doing? This is your boy Kim Hoang, the Asian sensation, and I'm here to bring you new content and great things here on the Kim Hoang Podcast Experience. Coming at you live at the KU Dungeon in Annapolis Junction, Maryland, aka Kicked Up Fitness and National Business Parkway. Shout out to Mr. Sean Queen, who is the owner and the proprietor of this establishment, providing us a beautiful space for us to go ahead and do what we do, whether if it's just, doing an episode where we have, a guest right in front of me, or if I'm just here kicking it, and just doing a episode like this one, just solo and not having anybody with me, just me and my thoughts and the process, you know what I mean? That's and that's cool, I really appreciate Sean for all he's done, for his love and support, and we truly appreciate that. And it's wonderful. It's really wonderful. This is kind of like my, really, it's like my safe space, if you think about it. I come over here, I feel safe, I feel good, I'm in a great element when I'm coming over here. I feel like, nobody can really touch me here. Nobody can really give me any stress or anxiety. I'm just here being comfortable and just doing what I do best, and it's awesome. It's really awesome just to be here, just to be here, just to be in this room, just to go ahead and operate and do what I normally do. I mean, it doesn't change the fact that I'm any less of a creative person. If anything, it's just like no matter where I go, no matter what I do, I'm always going to bring the heat, and I'm always going to bring that great energy and that great determination of providing great content for you guys, because you guys definitely deserve it. And I have to apologize. We did not have a new episode last week, like a full-fledged one. Life got busy, I was working on some stuff, but I did bring in 2 episode minis, one about adopting a dog by the name of Sassy, who is a 1-year-old female American Staffordshire Bull Terrier, who currently right now is still available for adoption for anybody who's interested, that loves dogs, that wants to give a beautiful young dog a home, that's willing to see it, thrive and succeed and do well, And if anybody wants to, hit me up for more information about, Sassy and what's required and the cost, please email me. That's the best way to contact me, and I will definitely let you know about that. The second episode mini that we did, we made an announcement, or more so, I made an announcement that I will be doing my very first seminar on basic stage combat and basic stunt training, stunt work. And I'm really excited about that. As of this moment right now, we have definitely locked a place. And it's going to actually be here over at Kicked Up Fitness. I'm really excited about it. We don't have a date yet. We do not have an actual secured date. I do know that I would like to hold it for 2 days, on a Saturday and on a Sunday. But as far as is it going to be in May? Is it going to be in June? Is it going to be, this last week during May? Is it going to be over in the first week of June? I still need to kind of hash out those details. But I think it's going to be an amazing time because this event is going to be for everybody, for, people that, are just, in the local Maryland, D.C., and Northern Virginia acting industry that, really doesn't do a lot of, fight scenes and basic stunt work, to even, people that, know a little bit through, martial arts training, to even people, that are in stage acting, or even people that want to try something new and something fun. I think it would be great. I think it would be great. Again, I'll be teaching a little bit of the basics. I'm not going to be teaching anything radically advanced or anything specialized. I mean, it's going to be in terms of combat, it's going to be empty-handed, so there's going to be no weapons involved. We will do basic falls and basic rolls and stuff like that. We'll even fit in a little bit of a discussion, a little bit of Q&A afterwards. So I can't wait for that. That's going to be exciting. I am here to celebrate an achievement of a young woman that I had the pleasure of interviewing as my guest a while back. Specifically speaking, on July the 8th, 2024, on season 3 of our podcast, and was episode 21, I had the honor and the pleasure to interview a talented young woman, a very beautiful young woman, a very intelligent young woman who is not only a TikTok broadcaster and content creator, but is also a singer. And her name is Attena. During that time, we were talking. We had an interview. We actually did it here on the podcast as well as live on TikTok. And, it was really good to learn a little bit more about Attena and to know a lot about, her growing up in Rio De Janeiro, Brazil, where she currently is residing still to this day. And she was talking about how, she really wants to become a professional singer. She really wants to take it all the way up to the big lights, to the big leagues of singing, because she felt like growing up, that was something that she wanted to do. And she really dialed in on it, and she jumped on the opportunity. Matter of fact, a couple of times, she had actually done some stuff with her brother, and they had a little, they had a brother-sister duo music thing that they had going on for a little bit, and it was really cool. Until, she had decided, hey, I want to go ahead and break out on my own. And she had done some stuff. She really done some stuff, and she really worked hard, and I remember she told me that this is something that she really wanted to do because she just felt very passionate about, being a musician and being a singer. That, every time that she sings and she's on the microphone and she, projects her energy from her body to the microphone, it's just some euphoric energy that takes over, and she just feels alive, and she feels like that is something that she is meant for. And I remember she said, in due time she would like to, record again in the studio and make, more songs, and hopefully one day an album. Well, recently, I found out through her social media on Instagram and on TikTok that our friend Attena had really hit the big time. In that recently, she was featured in a single that is taking, it's taking, the music world by storm. She had teamed up with the Japanese DJ by the name of Justin Owen, and there is an album, a 3-song EP album called The Eternal. We're on the very first song on that album of The Eternal is featuring Attena. And when I heard that and I saw that, I was like, oh my gosh, that is incredible. Now, was she over in Tokyo, Japan, recording that? No, I think what happened was, and, don't quote me on that, but I think she made her vocals at home in Rio De Janeiro. And once she got done, obviously sent it out, and the rest is history. And, when I heard about it, I was like, oh my gosh, I checked it out on Spotify. It already hit on Apple Music. There was a lot that was going on there. Also, there was a video. So I looked at it and I was like, oh my gosh, this is so good. So good. And I can't believe that, throughout all that hard work that she had put in, and all the determination and energy of focusing on being a singer and doing what she wants to do. This is just proof of the fact of how her hard work is creating her success. And I'm telling you right now, if you actually listen to Justin Owen, the Eternal, featuring Attena, you're going to be like, oh wow. This girl is incredible. This girl is wonderful. I mean, this girl has, the ability, the singing chops. She has it all. I mean, she can belt it out just as good as, Demi Lovato, which is somebody that she looks up to and admires and aspires to, have that same ability, that God-given ability that, Demi Lovato has. Attena would like to achieve that as well. And the fact that, now the world is hearing her voice. It's just not Rio De Janeiro anymore. Everybody is hearing her voice. And it's amazing. And I'll even go further saying that as soon as I found out that Apple iTunes was selling this, the 3-track EP of The Eternal with Justin Owen's The Eternal, and one of the songs of The Eternal features Attena, I had to go ahead and buy it. I had to invest because I wanted to show my love and I wanted to show my support in that way. Especially not only for Justin, but especially for Attena. Because I told her, anything that happens, I want to support it. If you have an album, I would like to purchase it. And I purchased it. Haven't bought the video yet, but I did buy the EP for $3.99. The actual video itself is $2. And I will most likely will buy that this coming Friday when I get paid for my day job. And all I know is with the work that Attena put in, it just shows that, anything is possible if you really put your heart and your soul into it and your mind into it. And I just want to say to Attena that I am very proud of you, sweetheart. I'm very proud of you. You are teaching me that if you want something, you have to go after it, and you did that. And I want to thank you for teaching me this lesson to remind me that I need to go for mine. I'm very proud of you, and I love you. You are one of my good friends, and I wish you nothing but the best of success. I hope that you make a huge impact, that it's going to not make a dent, but it's going to cut up a piece of the earth that people will notice. I want you to succeed. I want you to do well. And I feel like for her, this is just step number one. It's just the beginning. It's incredible. And I hope to God that, she will make it. Because, out of a lot of people out there in the world, she's really hungry. And she worked hard. And this is the result. And for anybody who does have Spotify, check out Justin Owen, The Eternal, and check out The Eternal featuring Attena, because there's 3 Eternals. There's one featuring Attena, there's one that's the cinematic version, and then there's the one that's the instrumental version. But check out that one with Attena on it, because it's hot. That thing is fire. You know? And for anybody who does have Apple iTunes on their iPhone or, you know, Apple device, whether if it's an iPad or a MacBook Pro or an iMac, if you really want to support Attena, buy it. Buy it. You know what I mean? And if you just have Spotify and you want to, you know, hear it all the time, just, you know, listen to it. Save the album. You know, play it. Get a lot of plays on that channel, man. Because I'm telling you right now, when you play a lot of that song on that, you know, on that method of music streaming services, it's going to create a lot of buzz and it's going to be good. Same thing if you have Apple Music. You know, if you go ahead and play that song a lot, it's going to bring a lot of great attention, no doubt. You know, and all I got to say is that I'm proud for Attena. I'm proud that she's a hard-working singer and that she's a hard-working creator. I'm glad to call her that she is my friend, and you know, and I love her. I really think that she's got what it takes. So God bless you, Attena. Get it done. You know, congratulations. You deserve this moment. You know, this is something that you can put on your resume that no one can take it away from you, because it is now it is publicly documented, and they can't say that you didn't. The proof is there. The proof is there. Hopefully one day I might see you, you know, be singing your hit song on the, you know, the biggest stage of them all, like the Oscars, and you might get nominated for best song in a soundtrack. I would like to see you have like a worldwide tour, blowing up stadiums where there's like at least a crowds of like at least 50,000 people screaming your name, Attena, Attena, Attena. Wouldn't that be nice? I think it would. We're going to take a little bit of a break. When we come back, we will come back to our second segment and keep it rocking and rolling. And then the greatest segment of them all, the Q&A session, question and answer. You don't want to miss that. Do what you need to do. Take a little bit of a break. Go on to the kitchen, get yourself some water, or go to the restroom, or answer that text, or make that phone call. But come right back, because the Kim Hoang Podcast Experience is just heating up. I want to tell you about an amazing store that's really good for all musicians, music enthusiasts, and a whole lot more, which is Chuck Levin's Washington Music Center in Wheaton, Maryland. That's right, you heard it correctly. Since 1958, Chuck Levin's has been actually tearing up the game when it comes to the music scene. And guess what? Since 1958, they have been the store to go to and a must-visit destination for any serious musician passing through our nation's capital. So, if you're actually a person that's in a band looking for a new instrument, such as an electric guitar, an acoustic guitar, a bass guitar, or maybe some drums, if you're a DJ looking for like the greatest DJ equipment, such as turntables and so forth, they got you. Hey, are you actually in an orchestra playing a woodwind instrument, brass instrument, or strings? They got you. They got all the classical instruments that you need. And let's not forget, for all my fellow podcasters, need a microphone? They got you. Need a podcasting vocal track recorder? They got you. They got everything, man. And I'm telling you, it's the best place to go. So if you want to check them out, go ahead and do so, because right here at Chuck Levin's, they're the best. Forget the rest. Mess with the best. Located over at 11151 Veers Mill Road in Wheaton, Maryland. They're open Monday through Saturdays, 10 a.m. until 6 p.m. If you want to know more about what they have to offer, you can go over to chucklevins.com online or give them a buzz at area code 301-946-8808. Chuck Levin's Washington Music Center. Like I said before, don't worry about the rest. Mess with the best.
And now, back to the Kim Hoang Podcast Experience with your host, Kim Hoang.
As podcasters, our job really is very simple. We're here to tell a story, and we're here to make sure that everybody has a good time, everybody is interested in staying engaged, and we like to introduce people to guests on our show that, you know, are very special in something that they do. Whether if it's an actor, an actress, if it's a stunt person, if it's a musician, if it's a chef, whatever, you know, in this case, you know. But the most rewarding thing is twofold. Number one, the rewarding thing, in my opinion, is the following. That, you know, when you actually do your thing, it really hits people, and they feel really good about it, and they have some kind of a connection. Number two, that they have you know, people make compliments about, you know, the work that you do in a very good way, and you know, it's those compliments and, you know, positive feedback and positive constructive criticism that keeps us going. You know, in the world of, you know, most, you know, let me put it to you this way. When you get a review and people review that you do really good and that your performance is awesome, as a podcaster, that's kind of like, wow, a great, you know, it's a great indicator like, hey, you're doing your thing, you're doing it well, people are resonating with it, they have a great connection, and it is awesome. And most recently, the Kim Hoang Podcast Experience has gotten 2 more great reviews, and I'm really happy about it. And I'd like to share it with you as it was written on our Apple Podcast review section. Both of them were for an episode that happened a while ago, on episode 8 of this season with, believe it or not, if y'all remember, I interviewed actress and podcaster Monica Lee. Now, Monica Lee is a person that, again, I've known for many years. I've known her through the local filming industry, where she was a powerful actress. And later on, she decided to go ahead and become a podcaster and has her own podcast on YouTube called The Drive-Thru Podcast with Monica Lee. Now, the first review is from Monica Lee herself, and it said, with thank you, by the way, we're giving it 5 stars. That's awesome. You know, I want to give a shout out to Monica. And it said, "Hey everybody, it's your girl Monica Lee. Wow, what can I say but thank you, Kim, for such a comfortable, relaxed, and fun show. This was such a great experience as a newbie podcaster. I enjoyed the variety of questions/topics and appreciated your time and space within this episode. The fact of not knowing what I was going to be asked, it made it all the more authentic and genuine, but most importantly, real. Thank you." Wow. To comment on that, I just want to say, Monica, thank you. It was an honor and a pleasure to have you on my podcast show. It was an honor and a pleasure to, work with you to build a great episode. And the fact that you gave me such a great compliment and a great review, 5 stars, that is incredible. You're one of the very few that I've actually interviewed that actually took the time to give me a 5-star review ranking, which is really awesome, and I thank you for that. Just seeing this, and reading it out loud, wow, I'm just at a loss for words in a very good way. The next review that we had was from a person that goes by LeBron333. And this person said, I recently listened to the Monica Lee's episode, 10 out of 10. Her story about her dance and college journey was so inspiring. And I loved how natural the conversation felt. The rapid fire questions were such a fun touch too. The host does a great job guiding conversations and bringing out meaningful insights. Definitely excited to listen to more episodes. Wow. To LeBron333, thank you. Thank you very much for that. It really, I will say this, it really makes it a lot easier to interview somebody that you kind of know, because then that way it's not as, intimidating. It's not as frightening. For me to interview Monica like I did and approached it like I did, number one, I did feel a little bit more comfortable knowing it was her, because, we have, a history, and I respect her and she respects me. And the fact that, we are two adults that, can just, have a civil conversation and shoot the stuff and talk, about the two creative mediums that we're passionate about was incredible. And I felt like the way that it went worked so well. That is a chemistry that, you cannot replicate. You can't buy it. It's just genuine. And, getting reviews like these makes me feel happy. And it makes me feel like, wow, this is the reason why I'm doing it. This is the reason why I'm doing it. I'm doing it because it's for people that love, an everyday average Joe like myself, share my opinions as I see fit in a way that, people don't feel so offended or people don't feel uncomfortable about it. And if I talk about something, they listen to me and they're like, wow, this dude sounds like he knows what he's talking about. He's saying it in a more comfortable manner. His tone is very calming and very relaxing. And, to me, like, I take that with the full sense of pride. Like, that, to me, like, when somebody tells me, these things, it's incredible, and I love it. I really love it. And I hope to God that I keep this going, to keep having, more great positive reviews and high grade reviews and high ratings, because when we get that, it just shows to the masses, like, that this podcaster, this Kim dude, is doing something right, and I must be. And I think the secret is that I just allow all of my guests to be themselves. I don't want them to have to be a facade, you know what I mean? I let them do what they want to do and how they want to do it. Case in point, if anybody remembered, I had an interview with one of my good friends who is also a director, Romel Xavier Morales, the director of Miscalculated and the upcoming Uncalculated. And I told him, hey, just be yourself, bro. Be yourself and don't hold nothing back, man, because, I want to get the true, authentic Romel Xavier Morales, and I definitely got it, and I think that for the people that actually did listen to it, they were really, really complimentary of, that episode. They were like, wow. And I wish that they would have put that, on the Apple Podcast for sure for the ratings. But they were like, dude, it was incredible. And this was awesome. And the fact that you interviewed Romel was incredible. The way that you talked to him. And it was just like, it almost felt like a style of the Joe Rogan Experience type of podcasting, which I didn't really see it that way. I just saw myself as just me interviewing a person that I respect and that, I have a lot of love for, and, somebody who I consider a good friend. And for those that want to actually tune in to that specific episode, it was on season 3, episode 40. And that was dated back on November the 8th, 2024. So, like, literally almost 2 years. Coming to this November, it would have been 2 years since when we actually ran it. And I think that's the secret ingredient for me, is just when you're just being your authentic self and you're letting your guests be their authentic selves and people listen to it, they definitely will appreciate that for sure. And they might give you a very high ranking for that. They might give you a high review for that. And for me, I feel like, wow, that's really awesome. You know what I mean? And, I think that if there's any advice I can give people when it comes to podcasting is that, number one, allow yourself to be yourself. Be in a position where, like, your style is comfortable to you, because then that's the more authentic you. And I think people will have more of a bigger connection with that. They'll be like, okay, yeah, that's the guy. That's that dude. Yeah. And, for those that, would, I'm not saying that it would ever happen, but for those would-be detractors that would want to give, any podcaster, like, a 1-star and complain highly, about, their work or something like that, saying that they're boring or their stuff sucks or, anything of that sort. I would say, honestly, let me just put it to you like this. Before you actually go ahead and, ding a hardworking podcaster and give them like a 1 or a 0 in rotten reviews, I challenge you to go ahead and listen to every episode that they ever put out. And every season that was out there available for you to hear. Because I feel like if you do that, you actually might have a better understanding of the person and how they work and how they present their podcast and how they do their stuff. And you might actually see the evolution from day one till present time. And I guarantee you might have a better understanding of where they're coming from, their style, and the way that they did things, to the point where, like, you might be like, okay, well, maybe we were wrong about this person. Maybe this person, maybe he is really good at what he does, or maybe she is good at what she does. And the fact that they do it so well, there's a lot more positives than negatives that we initially had thought. So guess what? We will give that person a 5-star ranking and a positive written review. And I feel like, in that case, that is more warranted. But for me, I feel like, man, just the fact that I've gotten 2 more great reviews, that is awesome. I didn't ask for it. I truly think that I earned it. And I did the best way that I could. And, with the way that I presented it it made people think otherwise, like, wow, I'm convinced. I'm a believer. And when you get, great reviews like that and great rankings, I think at that point you get more followers. You get more followers, more loyal listeners. There'll be more people that will actually talk a little bit more about your podcast and throw it out there on their social medias and, tell their friends and all that stuff. And that's the reward right there. That's the reward. And, I just want to say, I bless my lucky stars, man, that God's doing it right. I know I rarely mix religion in everything that I do, but I will just say for this one time that I think that everything that's happening, God's providing it. He's definitely provided, the good rankings and the good reviews. He's seen, the hard work that I put in for the past 5 years. And, he's understanding that, I'm just doing this because I love creating content. I love being a person of high creativity. And he knows that I'm trying to also get people out there and get people noticed and get people respected with what they do. I mean, nobody knows about, the Gio Corveras, who is an established stunt person in the stunt industry, who's also a martial artist. Not many people may have known about him. Or the Timothy Apollos, who is also a martial artist and a very good stunt person and a very good friend of mine. Not many people know about Derek Obscura, who is on the band Davey Suicide as the bassist. Not many people know that he's a real good musician and that he does really well. And he's a person of creativity, and he's a person that I highly respect. There's a lot that goes on, and as long as I'm doing my job, I feel like the rewards will follow. It just takes a little time, and I feel happy and privileged that thus far, I've been getting a lot of great reviews, a lot of rankings in the world of podcasting, especially right now, according to this, with the ratings and the reviews in Apple Podcast. It is incredible. It is wonderful, and I'm glad to have received it. I know in other podcasting platforms, I've been getting some solid reviews as well. So again, I thank you guys for just blessing me and supporting me. It's great. It's wonderful. So we're going to take a little bit of a break. When we come back, the greatest segment of them all, the Q&A session. You do not want to miss it. I'm very excited for it. Do what you need to do, but come right back, because the Kim Hoang Podcast Experience, we're about to load the spaceship up with the rocket fuel and load it up and take it all the way out to the orbit. Better believe it, because we're about to blast off, baby. In life, we all want to have great health and excellent physical fitness. However, it's never given, only earned. That said, if you want to go to a gym that will help you to get there, then look no further than Kicked Up Fitness at National Business Parkway in Annapolis Junction, Maryland. Their mission at Kicked Up is to provide the ultimate functioning training facility that focuses solely on your success, with a diverse team that's highly qualified and dedicated to taking your fitness goals to the next level. Kicked Up also offers a variety of group classes and personal training programs that provide something for everyone, regardless of your fitness level. They believe in working hard, achieving results, all while having fun. So come visit their facility in person, which is located at 114 National Business Parkway, Suite 100 in Annapolis Junction, Maryland, 20701. Now, if you see my friend Sean Queen, who's the owner of Kicked Up, tell him that Benny Chow of Miscalculated sent you, and he'll hook you up with a complimentary 7-day pass just to try it out. Need more info? Give him a call. 410-888-9066. Email them at kufitnessnbp@gmail.com or visit them at their website at www.kufitness.com. MVP.com. Kicked Up Fitness. Never given, only earned.
And now, back to the Kim Hoang Podcast Experience with your host, Kim Hoang.
All right, everybody, welcome back. Well, you already know what time it is, as we have reached the final portion of our show. But let's go ahead and do it. As a friendly reminder that the Kim Hoang Podcast Experience is asking for help on a voluntary basis to anyone out there that would like to help our podcast show by the ways of sponsorship and or financially donating to the podcast show to help make the quality of our podcast better. All the proceeds that we raise will go towards getting more equipment and better equipment we need, such as microphones for our in-studio guests, XLR cables for those microphones, extra headphones for our in-studio guests, mic stands, and even a MacBook Pro, which is the official computer of the Kim Hoang Podcast Experience. So just to let you know, when you hear an episode of the Kim Hoang Podcast Experience, it is because of the help of the MacBook Pro, which we edit to make it like sound really good and crystal clear and sharp. You know what I mean? And whatever that you can donate will help out, no matter what the amount is. So insert joke if you want to donate $5 million, but I don't think anybody would do that. Hey, you never know. Hey, we would appreciate it. Hell, we'll even make you an executive producer for that reason. To be even as little as $5, every little bit helps. And we would appreciate your help. And you can make a financial donation through the following. If you have PayPal and or Venmo, you can donate that way through our tag name at Kim Hoang MD Actor. That's once again at KIM HOANG MDACTOR. And of course, our other way of donating is through Cash App, which our tag name is $ Kim Hoang MD Actor. That's once again the $ KIM HOANG MDACTOR. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I am really excited for this. You know it. I know it. Everybody knows it. It is Q&A time. Now, we just go ahead and answer a bunch of questions, normally 7 questions, and you ask the questions and I will answer it. I have been generous lately, and I am going to continue to be generous because we have 3 extra bonus questions. So 7 regular questions plus 3 bonus questions equals a grand total of 10. Let's see how we do. I'm feeling pretty good about this, so here we go. All right. Dun, 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 dun. Here we go. Question number 1. Kim, what was the biggest shock to you for this year's WWE WrestleMania 42? Wes from Long Island, New York. Wes, it's very simple. I was shocked when, Paige came back. That, to me, I felt like she was probably going to return, but I didn't think it was going to be on WrestleMania. Because the way that it was is that Paige was in the WWE. Then she left the WWE to go to AEW, where she actually wrestled under her real name, Saraya, which was really cool. I thought that, she did really well there. And, now it's full circle. She came back to the WWE and won the Women's Tag Team Championship with Brie Bella. So I'm really shocked about that, but I think it's a good shock, and I think it's great. And I think that the WWE needed to have Paige to return back to the WWE. I really think that she still has a lot of, mileage in that gas tank and that engine. And she definitely has a lot to contribute. That's all I'm saying. Okay, here we go. Question number 2. Kim, in the martial arts, what is your opinion when a kick is thrown differently? Specifically, when a taekwondo or a karate person throws a round kick versus a Muay Thai kickboxer who throws a round kick. Wendy from Bellevue, Washington. My God, Wendy, you are really asking great questions here, or a great question. And I will say this. In my personal opinion, in my professional opinion, I don't know if that means much. You take a simple kick, like a round kick, and it's essentially the same kick, but executed a little bit differently. Especially with taekwondo, let's say you're throwing the round kick from the back leg, right? The procedure is that you actually pivot your whole, or you pivot like 180 degrees, right, with your leg chambered. And then, while your leg is chambered, you want to try to lift your leg and your hip up as much as you can for maximum flexibility. Then you extend the leg from the chambered position. Bam. Then you bring it back to rechamber it and then set it down. Whereas in Muay Thai, it's like you do rotate, But the thing about it is that the leg that you throw the round kick is never chambered. It's just like open. So it just goes like, without the actual flexing of the chamber. It's just like one motion in, one motion back out. And I definitely get it because it's in a different purpose and a different application. But if we're going to talk about, the correct way to do it, I think that the, martial art, taekwondo, karate way is more traditional, and mechanically it makes more sense. Also for the fact that, after, let's say you throw a round kick in a taekwondo sense, then you can, set it up where it could be a hook kick, or it could be, round kick, side kick, or even a round kick and then, fake it and change it into a front kick. So there's definitely possibilities there. Whereas again, the Muay Thai kick for round kicking, one motion and done. And that won't be able to help you much in terms of like setting out correctly in the ways that you want to. And again, this is just my opinions. If I'm wrong, so be it. You can challenge me on it, or you can correct me on it. Again, I'm just throwing opinions here, man. Throwing opinions, but that's the way that I see it. Question number 3. Kim, what do you think about people, martial artists, getting promoted to a grandmaster rank by another person who wasn't even in their martial arts lineage, let alone the same martial art? Taylor from San Jose, California. Matter of fact, Taylor, I got people in San Jose and I got people in Milpitas, so my God. Okay, Taylor. This is where it gets a little bit sensitive because I've heard a lot of, things about when people, martial artists who get promoted to, like, let's say an 8th degree black belt grandmaster rank, right? But the person who promoted them was not, trained in the same exact martial art as them. You know what I mean? Or wasn't even, taught by the same person. And to me, I feel like I understand it because they want to get promoted and they're willing to, buy the rank or, in that sense. But I feel like if you take Taekwondo, right? Like if you let's say you take Olympic style Taekwondo, and somebody is testing you for 8th degree black belt, who is a 8th degree black belt in Kempo karate, but has like a martial arts organization where they're like, hey, if you test under us, no matter what the art that you take, we can promote you to a higher rank, a higher position. In that case, I feel like that's a little bit wrong, and I think that they're approaching it the wrong way when it comes to getting promoted and so forth. Like, I'd rather be in my position in the Taekwondo school that I'm in. If my grandmaster passed away, I want to be tested under a person that, learned from the same master as my teacher, and I want, or, a senior black belt that my teacher had promoted, because, I just want to show my loyalty to who had taught me, and who taught me the ways of martial arts in that sense. If you're out there just trying to, get another belt, and you're trying to buy your accolade and so forth, and you don't care about, how you do it, as long as you get that position. I mean, if it helps you to sleep better at night, fine. That who am I to say, what's right or wrong? But to my opinion, I really feel like that is a cop-out. If you're going to test for that 8th degree black belt or 9th degree black belt, test under somebody who is in that same exact art as you are. More specifically, I would say if they were in the same lineage, like if you guys went to the same school and he's the senior rank and you are not, test under that person. At least that's the way that I see it. But hey, what do I know? Question number 4, Kim, I'm a person trying to establish myself in the promo marketing industry. What advice do you have for someone like myself that wants to be successful and eventually get touring management opportunities like you did? Raquel from Miami, Florida. Yo, 305 in the hizzy. Yes. Raquel, let me explain what I did, and I hope this gives you the answer that you seek. It took me a long time to get to that road of success. I kept on going to work different promotional jobs and, different campaigns and so forth. And every single time, I was always held back because they just felt like I wasn't leadership material. Case in point, I used to work in a promotional program, and there was this one guy by the name of Scott Cutler, and there was another guy by the name of Mark Dildine, who just felt like, I don't know if they just didn't like me, professionally or whatnot, but they just, they knew that I was working hard. I was a workhorse and I was hungry, but they never really gave me my time to shine. So I just kept on working at it, and I just kept on doing it until one day, I got a real good position, a higher position, a leadership position. And not just to say, rub it in their face or anything, but it was just to prove a point that, hard work breeds success. And if you really work hard at it, you'll achieve whatever it is that you want to achieve. And then, I took that same emphasis to other programs, and I just knew that with what I was doing with my hard work and my hard work ethic, it was traveling fast. It's like they couldn't deny me. And then one day, I just kind of had an opportunity that just fell in my lap, thanks to a guy named Patrick McGarvey, who just saw, something in me and believed in me because he saw my work ethic and he saw, what I contributed, and he saw the potential. And from there, we just hit the ground running, and it was great. So, it's just that you have to stick to your guns with, working hard and doing the best that you can and making the right decisions and doing the right things at work to make people believe that you have the potential to do it. So it's literally like, doing that and just being at the right place at the right time, talking to the right people. So I hope that kind of answers your question there a little bit. If it doesn't, I'm sorry, but that's the one answer that I can give. All right. Question number 5. Kim, is acting in one genre of film make you less of an actor? Freddie from Pensacola, Florida. Ooh. Freddie, I'm just going to say it like this, man. I don't think it makes you less of an actor because you are acting and you are doing your thing. But when you only act in one genre, then it's kind of like saying that you're a one-trick pony. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of like in the world of the culinary scene of being a chef and cooking in a restaurant. If you only cook in like one style of cooking, then they're only going to see you as like, oh, well, he only cooks American food. But if you start to implement other things like, Italian techniques and Asian techniques and so forth, now you're not a one-trick pony. But you're a very versatile chef. Same thing that applies in acting. Why limit yourself to act in one genre, like, let's say, horror? When you can also do comedy, and you can also do drama. Maybe you can do action. The more times that you go into other disciplines of acting, other genres of acting, and you do it, then we can see the versatility of your knowledge, your abilities, and the fact that you are able to do any style of acting. And I think it's important to want to be versatile. At least that's my thought. And I hope that if this is actually you, that you will be able to diversify and do other styles, other genres. So that's the way that I see it. Okay, question number 6. Kim, is there one device that you wish that you had, but you never owned? Olivia from Arlington, Texas. Yo. Olivia, that's a real good question. I like that one. I like that one a lot. No doubt. If I can be honest, if I can be for real, back in the day, around early 2000s, there was a phone device that was from T-Mobile. And it was the Sidekick. I don't know if anybody remembered the Sidekick, but to me, the Sidekick phone was probably really ahead of its time. And I was so jealous of that. I really was. And the reason why that I was, jealous was the fact that it was a phone ahead of its time, that you can use it as a phone and you can flip it around and there would be like a keypad and you can actually go ahead and start typing away like a typewriter, you know what I mean? And it was also a touchscreen at the time. So it was very revolutionary at the time. And it was good because, like, let's say, for example, and this is for all the 90s and 2000 kids, early 2000 kids, there was a thing called American Online Instant Messenger. And with the T-Mobile Sidekick, it had the actual app to actually go ahead and use AIM. easily. And I always thought that was just the coolest phone. I always thought that there was definitely something that was going on there. It was awesome. I think T-Mobile to this day still has the Sidekick, to be honest with you, if I remember correctly. But why go there, you know what I mean, when we have currently the iPhone or the Samsung, Amazon phone and whatnot, because the phones of today are a lot more radically advanced. Touchscreen, you can do all that stuff, surf on the internet, do whatever, and I just like my phone a lot better. But if I could go back in time, that Sidekick was pretty phenomenal, and I wish I had one. I wish I could go back to the hot tub time machine and go back to 2000, 2002 and just get that Sidekick, man. That was definitely ahead of its time, no doubt. Question number 7, and the last question of the regulation round. Kim, how do you feel when you see the same martial art form, or kata, is being displayed by different martial arts? Sam from Salt Lake City, Utah. That's a good question, Sam. And to be honest with you, I'll use specific examples. We have a form in our school called low high. To some people, it's called row high. And, I come from a Taekwondo background, which is, the style of the Taekwondo that we, or the branch of Taekwondo that we train in is like the Muay Thai style. And when I see low high being performed by other arts like Tong Sudo or Japanese Shotokan Karate or something like that, I think it's really interesting because I really want to see their interpretations and their versions on how they do the form and the technique and the timing and the power and everything like that. And it just makes me very open-minded because it's like, okay, I can see why they did this and I can see why they do that. And it doesn't bother me. It really doesn't. It's a very interesting concept to see other arts do the same type of form that you do, but just in a different light and a different presentation. I know there's some people out there that would be like, oh, well, this is wrong, or this is wrong, or this is wrong. And, and I get it because we're in that mode where, like, if we see something wrong from the experience of our, training, we do tend to judge. But, again, I like seeing other arts, like Shotokan or Goju-Ryu or Tong Sudo or whatever. If they do, if there's the same form that, we do, that they do, I would love to see that, and I would definitely like to study and just in my mind say, okay, this is cool, this is cool, this is cool, but this is what I thought needed to, have improvement and et cetera, et cetera. So, all right, bonus question time. So let's go ahead and do it. Question number 8. Kim, what are your thoughts on the Tesla Cybertruck? Isabel from Traverse City, Michigan. Isabel, let me just go ahead and say it like this. From the design standpoint of view, when it comes to the Tesla Cybertruck, I think it looks pretty rad. I think it does look pretty cool, and it's definitely a futuristic kind of look. So you get a thumbs up from me there. I do appreciate the fact that Tesla in general is an electric car company. So we're charging a Cybertruck and it having a capacity of going up to like maybe a full recharge could go up to like maybe 325 to maybe 330 miles in total. Impressive, and being that it's a battery, rechargeable car, good for the environment. Thumbs up there. My problem is, obviously, like all Tesla, Tesla cars, vehicles, the Cybertruck is a pretty penny. You have to pay like, $85,000 at least, you know what I mean? So you get a thumbs down from me there. If something happens where, you have to replace a certain part for some reason, let's just say maybe a battery or something like that, it's too expensive. Thumbs down there. If you get into an accident, that Cybertruck falls apart, easily, like fallen dominoes. Boom. Just, it's done. And you end up spending like another $85,000 for a Tesla. No, definitely not. And the insurance on the Tesla itself, I can't even imagine. So again, thumbs down from what I said before to even now. If you kind of have that, if you have that type of loot, go for it. It's your money. You do what you want. But, for me personally, I can't see myself wearing the Tesla brand. I can't support that. That wouldn't be me. I'd rather get like something like, traditional gas fueled car, like a Toyota or a Honda or even a Chevrolet or a Ford, and just, go that route. So that's just me. But to anybody that has a Tesla and can afford, that have that Tesla money and can afford it, good on you, man. Good on you. Thumbs up. Question number 9. Kim, what are your thoughts on buying shoes at wholesale stores like BJ's Warehouse, Sam's Club, and or Costco? Helena from Pasadena, Maryland. Yo, what up, dude? Right there on Route 2 North? The 410 and the 443? Stand up. Yes. And Helena, to answer your question, I have no problems at buying shoes at wholesale stores like BJ's or, BJ's Warehouse, Sam's Club, or Costco. I mean, you're getting, whenever you go to a wholesale place, right, you're getting it for a good amount of money. Like very, less expensive. But the bottom line is that you have to buy it in bulk, right? But, with shoes and so forth, I feel like they hit it very well. And let me give you a specific example. Like this weekend, I will go to my local Costco and buy a new pair of shoes. There are there's a new pair of Adidas's that are like really amazing. They look good. They kind of feel comfortable on the inside. So I'm like, okay, that's what's up. And they're only like $35, dude. $35. I mean, and they look fly. They feel like the material is good. And, I mean, for that price, I mean, that's a pretty good deal. That's a real good deal. I remember that the last pair of shoes that I bought from Costco was a pair of Pumas that I still have to this day. And I just knew, like, okay, it's Pumas, it's from Costco, but if you wear like just regular everyday shoes and just, don't really worry too much, you just wear it as your everyday shoes, then you're good, And I think now these days, I don't think people really will care what type of shoes that you have and where you get them. But the fact that if you get it at like a wholesale place, to me, I think it's cool. You have to be comfortable in your own skin to get what you want and wear what you want. And if it doesn't bother you, then then so be it, you know. It shouldn't bother anybody else. I mean, there are people in the world that can't even buy shoes. And look, we're buying it over at a wholesale store, so, you know, you look good and you save that loot, you know what I mean? Last question number 10. Kim, in the last episode mini, you said that you were going to be holding a seminar. What's the status, and can you explain about what it is, and etc.? Fiona from Naperville, Illinois. Yes, Fiona, I definitely will. Yeah, no problem. Fiona, it is true. At the last episode mini, I was talking about that I would like to hold a seminar on basic stage combat and basic stunt work, you know. And I told people that I was interested in doing it because, as far as I know, there wasn't a thing around the area, as far as I can tell, once again, that there was ever a seminar for, you know, local film actors or stage actors or wannabe, you know, stunt people on learning how to do, stunt work like falls and rolls and such like that, and even, you know, how to do stage fighting in fight choreography. You might have learned that a little bit, like maybe in like theater classes and so forth, but it was just very, very limited. And I wanted to do that because I noticed that a lot of local actors in our area, whether if they come from film or if they come from stage, 9 times out of 10, when they're acting, you know, they're probably going to get approached to do like a fight scene or do a basic stunt, which again, most of them, they probably never done, you know, a lot of, you know, stunt work in their life. And they probably don't do enough stage fighting in their life. Why? Well, possible answer is because, you know, with what they do acting wise, you know, there was never really a high demand for them to do it. And it's really hard sometimes because I'm not talking about every single stunt person. That would be unfair, but, you know, in some circles of the stunt industry, it's like, if you wanted to learn and understand what they're doing and you ask them for their help, it would either be that A, they would totally ignore you because you weren't really in their world or you weren't really famous, you know, in that industry of stunt and so forth. But maybe also at the same time, like, you know, if you're not established and you're not popular, you weren't worth a damn. And that always ticked me off. You know, it really got me angry because there's a lot of people out there that are hungry to learn these skills because, you know, it's something that it's possibly required of them to do. And if they don't have the proper tools to train in said situations, it becomes a liability. And the person that ends up trying to do that without proper training ends up getting hurt and ends up getting injured. And we want to avoid that. And I thought to myself, I said, wow, you know, I should do this because I would be giving back to my acting community. I can help them prepare for, you know, the possibility of certain things that would happen. And most importantly, I actually sat down with a great brother of mine, Brother Timothy Apollo, who is a martial artist, has done acting, and also is a professional stuntman who has actually trained at the Jackie Chan, stunt school with the Jackie Chan stunt team, and has also been in a lot of movie projects and national TV shows as a stuntman. And when I told Tim Apollo about this, he was very supportive. He was like, brother, I think you can do it. You have the basic ability. You have the knowledge. You've trained for this type of stuff. And you've actually been in film projects where you had to utilize your stage fighting and your stunt work. So, yeah, at least from my end, you have my love and support. You have my blessing. Go ahead and do the thing. And what was really cool was that Timothy Apollo liked the way that I phrased it, because he said, you're doing, stage combat and stunt training basics, meaning that you're doing the entry level of it. The things that you're doing, it's not radically advanced. It's not stuff where you do hard tricks or anything like that. It's just the meat and potatoes of the matter. And I'm glad that you actually phrased it in that way, because there's too many people that assume that you're going to teach them backflips and you're going to teach them to do this or that. And, that's just out of protection, for myself. And I feel good. At this moment right now, we have secured a location, which is fantastic. We just need to finalize everything and make sure that we can actually get it on this date. And hopefully, if we play our cards right, again, this is unofficial news, so we haven't really confirmed it yet, but I would like to have this seminar on a Saturday and on a Sunday. Matter of fact, I'll rephrase it: the last Saturday and the last Sunday of the month of June. You know what I mean? If I remember correctly. And let me take a look at my iPhone here. I'm really sorry about this. So let's go ahead and go into the month of June. That would be Saturday, June the 27th, and Sunday, June the 28th. So that, just in case, if you can't make it on a Saturday, but you're free on a Sunday, we got Sunday for you. It kind of gives people more options. And I'm really excited. Super duper excited. I cannot stress how excited I am. And the fact that I'm going to be the teacher, the sensei, the coach, and helping my fellow actors get into this type of stuff, it makes me really proud to be the one to help them. And I hope that, going forward after this seminar, whatever they take out of it, whatever knowledge that they gained and they learned, I hope that it sticks with them, and I hope that they apply it. That's it. That is everything. We are done. Yeah, wow, this is fantastic. So thank you for that. So, show notes to close. Find me on Facebook. Go under the search box and type in the Kim Hoang Podcast Experience. Please like it and follow it. And, if you follow that, I will follow you. We are also on different social medias, such as Instagram and X, which is formerly Twitter. Please like and follow it. And it's going to be under the tag name at TKHPC Experience, all in one word, lowercase letters. If you follow me again, I will follow you back. We are on a lot of podcasting platforms. We are on Spotify, Apple Podcast, Amazon Music, YouTube Music, Audible, and iHeartRadio. Please like, follow, and subscribe to my podcast on all of those aforementioned podcasting platforms. Now, if you have Spotify, please give me a 5-star ranking. And if you also have Apple Podcast, please give me a 5-star ranking and a positive written review, because the more times that we have that happen for not only Apple Podcasts, but also with, the 5-star ranking over at Spotify. That means our podcast show will be thrown into the front lines. People will notice it, and somebody might be like, yo, the Kim Hoang Podcast Experience. I heard about this because my good friend Joe told me that it's worth listening to and investing your time into, listening to a podcast show like this. Maybe we should follow and subscribe and support this person. Yes, and yes, I appreciate that for sure. Obviously do us a favor if you can on your social media pages, no matter how or what social media page you do it under, please spread the word about our podcast. You know what I mean? And or, if you can actually tell people in person, whether if it's a coworker, family member, or just somebody that like a friend or a neighbor, let them know about our podcast. That is brand awareness. Sharing is caring, and we definitely appreciate you just spreading the word and letting people know about us. You know what I'm saying? Last but not least, if you want to be a special guest, if you want to be a special guest host, if you have any constructive criticism, and what have you, please feel free to email me. You can email me at the Kim Hoang Podcast Experience at gmail.com. Under the subject box, you can go ahead and put in whatever that you want for your subject. And then after that, just go to the body of the email and just air it out. Air out your grievances. Talk about what you want to talk about. Hit the send button. And once that's done, I can check my email, read it, and see what's going on. And I'll tell you, I'll get back to you. It might take about at the most 2 days, but I'll definitely respond back. That said, everybody, please be safe out there. Life's too short for you to do a certain thing that might land you in trouble and might cause you dismemberment and actually throw you in a pine box that, is 6 feet under. We don't want that to happen to you because we want you to be healthy. We want you to be happy. We want you to be striving in life, and we want you to get yours. And anybody else that tells you that you can't, you can tell them where to go, and not so much the PG terms, and just strive for yours and get it. I truly believe that people deserve the best in life, and all they need is an opportunity and good love and support. And I think that's it. I want to thank you guys for continuing to, support me like you do and show love like you do. It's incredible, and, I hope that we'll be able to do it again pretty soon, somewhere down the future. Not later, but a little sooner. So that being said, for the one time here, over at the KU Dungeon, over in Annapolis Junction, Maryland, this is your boy Kim Hoang, the Asian sensation. I am the host with the most, the man with the plan, the guy that can bring the power within the hour, the dude with the right attitude, and the guy that is so smooth that he's got all the moves. I don't know if that made sense, but that did sound cool. I want to say thank you. I want to say God bless you. And ladies and gentlemen, just keep doing what you're doing. Keep shooting for yours, and, aim for the moon. Because if you miss, you're still amongst the stars. It's been real, guys. Take care. Be safe. God bless y'all. And we'll catch you on the next one. Peace.